You're not fun. You have to be fun. You have to be, hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Tarek Ibrahim. My name is Anthony de Boer. I'm here on the first day of my job, actually, and just get in it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Engaging.
Yeah, you're gonna put me to, like, I brought this just as a prop, but you're gonna make me use it. And that's what the show's all about, guys. Let me tell you, this show is about trying to teach you the skill set you need to actually do marketing, to actually help you grow your business. And we figure what better way to do this than by actually taking Anthony, which is our newest guy on the job, and actually do his training live for everybody to see. So this is his first day making some videos, and we're gonna go through life, and he's gonna be asking questions, and it's gonna be like a podcast. So we're gonna try and do this every week, and we're hoping that this will jive with a lot of you guys. So I didn't want to take all the thunder away from Anthony, because we're just starting, but Anthony, go ahead.
Welcome to the IGS podcast. I'm here with Tarek Ibrahim, and today we're going to talk about the marketing, PR, and many other services we offer.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So give you're hosting. Go.
On my first day today, want to know what we're all about. So at IGS, what would you say is the most important thing we offer businesses?
So when a business, and you gotta always make sure to look at the camera, right? Don't look at me. Just always look at the camera.
What would you say is the most important thing?
You're looking at me. You gotta always look at the camera. So lesson number one for those watching is that the focus has to be always at the camera, because as important as the host may be and the co-host or the guest may be on your podcast or on your show, we're doing it for the thousands of millions of people watching. So for you guys, this is who the show's for. So this is part of the adjustment, part of the orientation.
So I want to know, what is the biggest thing you feel IGS offers businesses?
So the thing that we offer, and I think it's unique in the sense, is we give you a chance to actually tell your story. For so many people, telling story is this, this thing they read about or this thing they see on YouTube by, these multi-millionaire followers, these fans, people say, tell a story, and nobody knows what that actually means. So where we come in is we help you tell your brand story, tell your marketing story to the customers, because nobody likes buying a product. Nobody wants to feel like they buy a product. Nobody buys a Big Mac just because they're hungry. They buy a Big Mac because they know what it's gonna feel like. They know what that taste is gonna be. They understand that there's gonna be 2 patties and special sauce. They're sold on the entire concept that the Big Mac is the best. Because there are thousands of mom and pop shops that are able to actually sell the exact same food type, but people gravitate to McDonald's. People are gravitating to these certain things because they're sold on the story that this is going to be the best, this is going to be consistent, this is going to be even a great savings. I want to save money eating here. So figuring out what your story is part of that journey, is that people know that they're working, people know they have a job, people know that this is their task, but where's the story? That's where we come in. Not everyone can be given a paintbrush and paint a gorgeous portrait. Not everybody's a Picasso, but everybody can hold a brush. And that's where we find the industry to be right now, is that everybody's got a paintbrush, everybody's running to say, hey, I'll draw you this great canvas. And then when you look at it, okay, my 3-year-old could have done that. You know what I mean? So for us, we are painting a beautiful portrait. We're not going to say we're Picasso.
We're storytelling.
But we're definitely doing more than most by a long shot.
No. So then what was the story? What made IGS what it is today? What made you want to start this? What was your vision?
I saw a world, and it's a very philosophical start, but truly I saw a world that was dark. I saw a world that needed help telling the story. And I found a lot of people are just working. A lot of people are just doing the job and not telling the story and not reaching their absolute potential. And I felt that this storytelling with the rise of social media is actually part of it. That in order to succeed on social, in order to succeed in this realm of marketing, you have to be able to tell a story. And so many people are stuck saying, okay, we're gonna fight over pricing, we're gonna fight over competition, or we're gonna fight over area. We're just gonna make up these arbitrary things, and we think that's why customers come to us. And the truth is, everyone's looking for that great story. Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to be given reassurance of their purchasing. Everybody wants to feel like this company cares about 1, 2, 3. And that's what it's actually all about. And we set out on a journey to say, we're gonna tell the best story anyone's ever heard. And that's kind of where we are right now.
So in keeping with telling those stories, what do you think is the one thing businesses you've worked with, what mistakes do they make the most, and how do you feel like you can help them improve on those mistakes that they've made with their marketing, with their video production, their websites?
So there's a lot in that, right? There's a lot in the video production, there's a lot in this. But I'll tell you, depending on your size, depending on your scale of business, whether you're starting up or you're a big business, what you have to keep in mind is that wherever you are in your business's growth, you want to always remember that you cannot give your business to your young teenage daughter and she's going to handle it. That's what I kind of feel the first mistakes are that people do, is they assume that as long as I have a phone, anyone can do this. And why should I have someone do it for money when I can get my kid sister to do it for free? And I feel that is actually the biggest mistake, because although, yeah, you're right, everybody has a phone. I got a phone, Anthony's got a phone, we all got phones. Although we all got phones, how I use a phone, how he uses a phone is very different. Yeah. And how I perceive my brand to be as a business owner is going to be very different than how someone else does. And having that transcend into my efforts is what separates the weak from the strong. That if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to do it right. And if you are just constantly trying to copy what everyone else does, sure, maybe once you'll get like 1 million views from copying, or 1,000 views, or whatever it is. You'll succeed once in a while. But long-term succession is you finding your area, you finding your space, and you constantly cultivating in that area. And that's the trick. Like if we're going to have someone else do it, you're just copying trends and themes for the rest of your life, and you're not going to be remotely indistinguishable for everyone else. But if you have someone that's actually laser focused on your story and your brand, okay, there's a chance now that you're going into a certain trajectory. You're going to a goal, and you're going to make that goal.
So that originality and that creativity really exists when you want to do it on your own and you want to make it your own. For you, you've started a bit in Windsor and you've branched out towards London, Toronto. What was the main thing you had to do to reach the goal of, I'm going to take this further than just Windsor? What do you think businesses should do, especially with marketing, when they want to not just be, boxed into just their location, they want to broaden out to other areas?
Well, first I want to make sure that we're both in focus. Okay, we are, which is great. So, always double checking your work doesn't hurt either, right? But I felt that, Windsor is a very unique city, and it's unique in the sense that it is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of effort. And people really are trying to make every dollar stretch as far as possible. And with that being said, I felt that in Toronto and in bigger cities, people have become accustomed to the idea of outsourcing help. People are accustomed to the idea that, I'm too busy making X amount of dollars. I need someone I can trust to do this part of the business for us. And I find the majority of businesses here in Windsor, for the most part, still haven't got to that, that concept that I need someone else to do it for me. Typically in Windsor, I find people are still trying to do it themselves to save a couple bucks. And although they will always save a couple bucks if they do it in-house, there's no question about that. Your goal, your targets are also toned way, way down when you do that. And I think that is the what people don't realize is that not always, right? But more times than not, if you're paying someone to do the service, most likely he's got to be better than the guy that you already got at your front desk saying, hello, how's it going?
Of course. And do you see the potential for Windsor as a hub, or do you think it would have to be more in Toronto? Do you think it can't be possible to build this media type of empire, this media business here? Do you think one is better than the other? How are they different?
So I think at the end of the day, everybody is, look, Windsor's got tons of incredible businesses, tons of thought leaders, tons of industrial people. There is tons of money in Windsor. Let me be very, very clear here. Windsor is full of money. The challenge is that a lot of this business comes in the manufacturer or in manufacturing or in medical. And when that happens, marketing becomes a tertiary or even a fourth kind of thing. It's not the main bread and butter here, right? Businesses that need marketing are typically businesses that are service businesses. And although there are many service businesses here, they're all very tight knit. They're all very connected to already the big industries, right? So a marketing agency in Windsor, I find it you're limited by the type of clients you're actually able to get, and that isn't a bad thing or a good thing. It's just there's just so much more opportunity for this industry in Toronto because that's where all the corporations are. That's where all the headquarters are. That's where all the head offices are. So if you're automotive related, or if you're, even agricultural or into farming, even out in Leamington, there's tons of opportunity there. But I feel that, the industry has presented itself as something that is mostly Toronto, Vancouver, even Detroit for that matter. Where the business is, that's where you'll find marketing and public relations.
Wonderful. And you've also told me before specifically that when you're posting, the stills are very popular on Instagram, but those videos, just like TikTok, the reels on Instagram and Facebook are what really keeps your followers coming back, and they're crucial.
So I know it's going to sound cliche, but people really want to get to know you. People really want to like you. And what happens when that happens is that they're buying you. They're giving you their money. They're giving you their attention. So when you're doing these videos, people actually get a chance to get to know you. And if they like you, you've basically won. You've now gravitated to that element, and now they actually want to work with you. Whereas if you're just selling stills, it's very hard to get the persona out of the still. It's very hard to get the personality out of the still image. Now, depending how you dress, how you pose, there is definitely room for showing off your personality. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it can come from talking, from doing what we're doing right now, from having these podcasts or getting these interviews, for you to actually get to know the people you're working with. And people really appreciate that. So I don't belittle a still image, I don't belittle a carousel, but I definitely will always encourage getting those videos, getting that fun factor out there, because that's how businesses grow. Is people got to like you, people got to learn from you, people got to really vibe with you. And that's kind of the idea.
So yeah, beyond just the videos, we also do websites. So what is so important of having a searchable website, right? A customer needing to be able to find that website. Why is that so important? We have social media, but to go beyond just the social, why do I need to be able to find your business's website?
So, a website, if I could even play devil's advocate for a moment. So a website, if you go back 5 years ago, a website was super important. You go back 10 years ago, a website's even more important. But now a website kind of plays this new role. And I'm glad you asked this question because it's really important. Google local search is actually super, super important. So when I'm looking up something, what shows up on my Google Maps is so important now, because that is somehow being prioritized by Google itself. So you type something in, it shows up on your maps. Here are your top 3 places. Then you naturally filter into reviews. Now, if you're buying something that you are not necessarily driving to, then the search is a little bit different. Like if I'm looking to buy a product or get a service, it might be a little bit different. But if I'm looking at a restaurant, as an example, type in best Italian restaurants, and I find one that's close to me, and I find one with 5 stars, and I find one with a bunch of good positive reviews, I haven't even went to the website yet, but now I'm already considering them. The only reason I want to go to the website now is to look to see if it validates my opinion of them now. Like I'm going at completely different. Before you would go on Google, find a website, read the website, look at the website, judge based on the website. Now the judging is done still on the Google page. You're done on the Google reviews. So extremely different way of searching in 2025. And I would even say that more people are even searching on TikTok and on Instagram directly. Like they're not even going to Google. They're just typing in great restaurants in Windsor or great restaurants in Toronto. And what shows up is what shows up. So it's so important to be able to tell your story on multiple platforms, because it's wherever the people are looking. Not everyone's looking on Google. Not everyone's looking on Instagram. Not everyone's looking on TikTok, but they're looking on one of them. And unfortunately, where are they looking? And you just want to be wherever the people are looking.
Yeah, and so what do you say then to these businesses, specifically restaurants, that they'll print out this little Google review sheet and say, leave a review? Why is that not enough? Why do you want someone doing your paid Google ads? Like they need to be able to rank as high as possible, right?
Google ads is all for now anyway. For now is like the up, down, down, left, right, BA start cheat code to Google, basically. And the idea is that, okay, if you don't know how to rank in SEO, if you don't know how to rank on reviews, if you don't know how to do anything, and you suck at all of it, you could still pay to play and rank pretty high. So, excuse me, said Google, but you could still rank really, really high just by cheating, right? Like, and cheating is by paying money. And obviously it isn't a expensive way to do it. It does cost to do it, but you're not losing anything by doing it. And at the end of the day, realistically speaking, you need to do all of them. You need to pay, you need to do your Google reviews, you need to do your local SEO, you need to do your overall SEO, but you want to be the first. No one goes to page 2. Forget about page 5. No one goes to page 2. So if you're not in the first page, the first 2 lines, you missed out on your clients.
And it's that energy that really brought me to IGS and to want to work here in the first place. What do you think we do so much differently and that is lacking in certain other marketing agencies? What are they missing that they're not offering clients to help those businesses grow? What are we doing that's so much different?
We know our stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, it's look. There's a lot of marketing agencies out there. There's tons of them, to be honest. And a lot of them are in this old school way of thinking where it's like, hey, I need to print out this. I gotta put it in a mailbox. That's it. That's marketing. And I truly believe, like, okay, maybe my dad and my parents, these guys are in their 70s, people are in their 80s, 90s. Okay, these are the print generation. But I know my dad will open up Instagram and watch a reel and show me something, say, hey, what do you think about this? Should I buy this? Or should we go here to eat? So it has changed, whether you want to admit it or not. The landscape has dramatically changed. And most people don't know that somehow. And then you have the other people that are so eager to make a quick buck. That's the opposite side of the industry. It's like, hey, I'm going to pretend to be an agency. I'm going to pretend to have skills. And you can't even talk to these people and they can't even respond to you. They're so afraid of their shadow. They lack all sort of social skills. They completely lack storytelling ability. So there's this huge gap between people that think they know what they're doing, people that actually have no clue what they're doing. And then there's a small majority, I would actually say, of talented people that are able to tell great stories and articulate those stories using the latest and greatest tools that are available.
And that's kind of where I started too, right? I was constantly going to these local businesses. And I think I agree with what you say. The biggest thing Windsor has to offer are its small local businesses that we all can trust. We're such a small community, but we can trust those few businesses. And I really think we can offer those businesses something that wasn't seen before in Windsor. And we really have a great opportunity to do that with the equipment we have, with the production, with the expertise we have. But also too, we go beyond marketing at IGS. We also have done government relations. And, you know, business is a game of trying to always level up and be one step ahead of the competitor. How is politics like that as well? How is it similar?
It's the exact same thing, right? The truth is it's the exact same thing. You have a problem, right? And whether it's you need government funding, whether you need government policy to change, whether you need government to physically enact something, it's how you tell that story. It's who you tell that story to. So this art of storytelling, when done properly, can literally do every single thing you need. Literally every single thing you need. So it's just a matter of who and how. And right now I got a phone call from one of my clients. Just take this real quick. Here. 1 sec. Feel free to talk. Hello.
So just know where you want to go, know who you want to talk to, and the social media platform will always be there for you. The biggest thing with social media is you have to be able to tell the story in the best way possible. And you have to know what platform you can do that on. When you're going video, TikTok is obviously huge, but you can't forget your Facebook or your Instagram reels. You can't forget your YouTube shorts. Maybe share that same video on different platforms and see where that type of content best sits, right? There's many different platforms for social media now and different ways to post, right? With carousels, videos, just still images, no carousel in it. You just post that image, but you have to know, how does this content sit with my platform, right? Where should this go? And what place does this content best fit? If I'm going to make a video and I'm working with my client and they're selling cars are very visual, right? People do donuts in them. If I'm going to work with a client and they're selling cars and they're going to do donuts in them, like some type of video on Instagram you see where the guy's speeding, going down the street, racing cars, or you see something very visual, maybe you see Niagara Falls and we're going to go down Niagara Falls and they're falling down. These very visual, captivating videos. You want to post that type of content on Instagram as well. TikTok is great, and you can use the sounds, the audio, whatever it is to capture that attention, right? You can do the voiceovers, but also don't underestimate the power of Instagram Reel. Tarek had to go take, 1 second. Tarek unfortunately had to go to a meeting, so we'll see you next week for another episode of IGS Podcast. Thank you.